Alright, problem 2b, same idea as before. We want to solve this system using elimination. So again, you got to think about, well, first off, if you look at my two equations, do I already have opposite coefficients for any of my variables? Well, in this case we don't, because if you look at the x's in both equations, we've got 4 and a 2. And if you look at the y's, we've got a 2 and a negative 1. So they're not opposites. But we can modify these equations fairly easily to get an opposite. So if I multiply the bottom equation by 2 on both sides, you'll see that, and remember, do it on both sides, if we distribute that 2, we will get a 4x minus 2y, and then multiply 3 times 2, we get 6. And now if we compare two of our equations, we have a positive 2y and a negative 2y. So now we can add those two together and eliminate one of our terms. So I'm going to write that first equation, 4x plus 2y equals 14. And now we're going to add these two equations together. And remember, we're adding on the left and we're adding on the right of the equal sign. So 4x plus 4x, combining like terms, is 8x. Negative 2y plus 2y is 0. That was our goal. Get those terms to eliminate. And 6 plus 14 is 20. So now we just need to divide both sides by 8, and we get x equals 20 over 8, which you can use your calculator to simplify that. But notice you can divide by 4 in both of those numbers. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And 8 divided by 4 is 2, so we reduce that fraction to 5 halves, which, if you prefer as a decimal, is 2.5. So that's my first value. Now I need to plug back in, find my second value. Now notice, I know a lot of you don't like fractions, but if you look at this fraction, 5 halves, and you look, and you remember that that's an x value, if I plug into this first equation, well, I have a 2 there, so I'm going to get 2 times 5 over 2, and my 2's are going to cancel, so I won't have an ugly fraction anymore. So let's do that. Let's take this value and let's substitute that in to that equation right there. So I'm going to do that. 2 times our fraction, 5 halves, that value of x, minus y equals 3. Now we want to simplify and solve for y. Well, 2 times 5 divided by 2 is just 5. So we get 5 minus y equals 3. So you can subtract subtract 5 from both sides to get negative y equals 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So multiply by negative 1 on both sides. Do that, and you will see that you get y equals a positive 2. So we have found our two answers, and again we're going to write that as an ordered pair, 2.5, comma, 2, x, comma, y. And we're done.